Raise your hand if you drink a bottle of water like this. Now keep your hand up if you drink it, if it looks like the water in this picture. My name is Christopher Boyd, and I'll be teaching you why marine pollution threatens living organisms. My thesis is marine pollution is a threat to living organisms because it contaminates our water with CO2, endangers our sea animals, and it damages the coral reefs that protect us. Where do we get our water? We get our water from lakes, rivers, and streams. But due to the pollution of lakes, rivers, and streams, we have to resort to getting our water from glaciers. But glaciers can't be a long-term replacement because of things like global warming. And with that, we're taking water away for our own personal use. It would take away habitats from animals like penguins and polar bears. How is water polluted? One way is water acidification. Water acidification is the process of CO2 entering our water and replacing the oxygen. And as you can see in the picture, it'll take a colorful plant like this that's on a coral reef and kind of kill it off, and it'll start to break off and die. How does water acidification happen? It's kind of like the water cycle. Factories make stuff and they pollute gas into the air, which gets in our clouds and makes acid rain. And acid rain kills our vegetation, and then it washes down into our nearby water sources, which causes water acidification in our lakes, rivers, and streams. Pollutants that are in water acidification is biocarbonate ion, carbonate ion, and dissolved gas, which you can see most of it is biocarbonate ion and carbonate ion, with a small percentage of it is dissolved gas. Acidification affects our coral reefs. As I showed you in the first picture, it kind of kills our plants off, and it takes away like the color from it, which that is actually a good place for small fish. Like I put Nemo, because small fish like that like stay on coral reefs or habitats and stuff, and it blends in with the colors to protect them from predators. And with coral reefs like dying and the color being taken away because of water acidification, it's harder for them to hide, which would cause them to kind of be preyed on easier, which the number of prey would go down, which would lead to predator competition, which would cause eventually all the animals' population to drop. The reason I keep talking about coral reefs is coral reefs actually protect us from storms, flooding off the coast. And when you think of like a pollutant, you think of like a substance or like a liquid or gas, but really a pollutant is any substance or object that has a harmful effect on the environment. So we ourselves pollute coral reefs with things we wouldn't expect, like boating and fishing and snorkeling and diving and all that stuff, even picking up seashells, a whole bunch of them. Like if you go to the beach, that contributes to the pollution of coral reefs. And speaking of us humans, our impact on water pollution is basically plastic bottles and trash, cruise ship waste, oil spills, and burning fossil fuels like with the acid rain and stuff. Anyone ever been on a cruise? If you've been on a cruise, you see it's a big ship with a whole bunch of people, and with that, it's a whole bunch of food being made to feed the people, and a lot of bathrooms, everyone's using the bathroom, and pretty much all that waste and stuff from the ship, once you're within a certain amount of miles of land, they have to go ahead to pretty much release all of that into the water, which affects our coral reefs as well as us, because we have ports and beaches and all of that stuff on the water that we pretty much interact with and get water from. Oil spills, as you know, there was a big oil spill like not too long ago with BP. It was in the Gulf of Mexico, and it was a really big one. All the Dawn commercials where they were cleaning the ducks and stuff like that, it was pretty much based off of that one. And the reason I picked this one is because BP, they did this cleaning process where they put the solution in the water to take the oil out. But what people didn't know is it was harming people's skin and giving them skin diseases and stuff. And they pretty much did all in their power to cover it up so it wouldn't make major news and major news articles. And for my service, I went to the Whitewater National Center and I spoke to them, and they were kind of hesitant to like really speak on it because they had like a kind of an issue where there was a brain-eating amoeba that was in the water, and it actually killed a girl, and they had to close down for a little while to like pretty much re-clean their water and all of that stuff. So when I went there, they basically told me how they, like, everything now is more serious. Like, the reason the amoeba got in the water was because it was around the summertime, so the water was kind of warm, and then mixed in with, like, the things that, like, the little bursts that make the water go fast. So with the rapid water speed and the warm water, that's kind of how it came in from the river, and kind of made a habitat in the Whitewater Center. And they basically make sure, like, that the water isn't too warm and makes it a home for them. And I went to nearby creeks and ponds and picked up trash. Like, if you were to look from a distance, you wouldn't really see anything. When you get up close, there's a lot of trash that we leave, like plastic bags from grocery stores, napkins and tissue, and even food wrappers and stuff like that. And you wouldn't notice, but that's all out there when you get really close to the water. My reflection is I learned there's a lot of things we do to pollute water that we don't really realize until we really look it up and stuff. Like small stuff like cutting your grass and not picking up your clippings, that washes down the drain, that pollutes our water. Washing your car at home and the soap and all those solutions, when they wash down, that pollutes your water as well. And I feel like if we work together to kind of find better ways of doing things, we can kind of save our water, because there's already things like amoeba that we have to pollute. So us adding to it will make anything better. And thank you for your time. What questions do you have?
Do you know exactly what is in the water that makes it so harmful to the animals in the ocean?
Basically with the water acidification, the pH levels is it's more acid in the pH levels, which kind of affects the fish and stuff.
What made you choose water pollution?
Originally, this wasn't the topic I picked. It was given to me, and I really didn't have any interest in it at first, but the more I looked it up and found research, it became more interesting.
What advice would you have for seniors just starting their senior exit project?
I would say the paper that you already written, that's your biggest help as far as information, and really the hardest part for you is just making sure you do your service, and it's a good service, and you put in all the hours.
All right. Give it up, Chris.